Hey guys, today I thought I'd make a first impressions video for Operation Skull Rain and talk about some of the things I missed in my previous patch video. Since its release, which was yesterday, for those of you who've lived under a rock, I've been playing at least 8 to 10 hours of it, and the majority of it was using the new operators and experimenting with their weapons and gadgets. So to start us off is Capital, which is the new attacking operator. Initially I was very excited to get hands on with him. His primary weapons are a lot of fun to use, and surprisingly he's very mobile when using them, and that goes for the LMG as well as the assault rifle. His gadget, which is the tactical crossbow, has interchangeable bolts which you can swap out and use for different situations. One is an incendiary and the other is a smoke, and the smoke is actually covers a large area, a much larger area than I thought it would as well. And it detonates upon impact, which is incredibly handy. I think the worst thing about smoke grenades in this is they bounce a couple times before detonating it, so you can just guess where someone is coming from. Doesn't make them useless, but I think the crossbow version of the smoke in this game is a lot better. And then there's the incendiary, which is a hell of a lot of fun to use, and I've actually managed to bag a few kills with it, which I didn't think would be possible, because at first I thought it'd be more like a gas cloud that would appear, but it turns out it is an incendiary, and it kills very fast. Like, I've got a few impact kills with this where it's hit them and they haven't been able to get out of it quick enough. Bearing in mind this has happened to operators such as Rook and Doc, and that's what surprises me. Rook and Doc are heavily armoured, and if you're using Rook you can have the armour on, aren't you? So if it ticks and kills them within like a second, maybe two, then it does do a hell of a lot of damage, but then again they're slow and they can't escape quick enough, can they? I've also used this a couple of times to block off doorways and actually fire it at the objective, and it's worked well when doing that as well. I think that's probably the way it's supposed to be used, but it can kill. It does do a lot of damage very quickly, so keep that in mind and don't be scared to actually try and get kills with it. So the defensive operator is Caviera, or I'm not going to call it Caviar, that's just going to butcher it. I was worried about her being OP, please nerf all this at first. While she is strong and very fast, I don't think she's OP though, which I'm happy to say if I'm honest. I find her barbed wires to be more useful than a C4, and now you're probably thinking more useful than an explosive. And yes, I honestly think that her ability works a lot better with barbed wires than it does with a C4. See, Pulse is really good with a C4 because he can take advantage of his gadget and throw it on a wall, a surface, any surface, and just blow them up as long as you can destroy it. Well, with her, you kind of just have to throw it and hope it gets someone. Whereas I find her barbed wires work far better in conjunction with her ability. Say if you sit in a room nearby to your barbed wires, wait for them to rustle, use R1 or whatever the button is for whatever platform you're playing on. I think it's RB on Xbox. You press RB or R1 and that activates the ability, making you silent. You do still make noise, I just want to make that note. You still make noise, you're just a lot quieter, and you kind of go into this like praying mantis mode where you have your hands out like a claw and you can only use your pistol. And you sneak up on your enemy, interrogate them, and yeah, Bob's your uncle, you can see where all the enemy team is. By the way, I think it lasts for 10 seconds. If you watch the trailer or some gameplays, I think it is 10 seconds long, I'm not too sure. This ability is really effective. Funnily enough, I don't like pressing R1 using it. I prefer to down an enemy and then interrogate them. It's a little bit riskier, but I think walking around with your handgun out and not very fast puts you at a bit of a disadvantage, and you don't actually move that much quieter. I think you move quieter just crouching around. I prefer to just crouch around. That's how I like to use it. Most people probably do like to run around with R1 all stealthy and then slam them on the ground. It's all fancy, flashy footwork, all that. That's cool. Yeah, but I prefer to use. I like to down people, interrogate them. So now that I've spoke about the new operators, I would like to talk about the map Favela, which is the new map. And it's been given the tagline, the most destructible map they've made, and I would say that's true. You can breach pretty much every wall on the map, especially on the exterior of the building, which you haven't been able to do that before. Maybe on Borderline you could do it on a few walls, but on this map I think it's pretty much every wall apart from a few. It's the majority of walls on the outside. It's very close quarters and it caters to shotguns amazingly, which some people are going to hate. I don't think it's too bad. Assault rifles are still usable. I've gone on it with the new M249 that Capital has and done just fine. But But because the map is set within the favela, it can look rather daunting and big, but it's really not. If anything, I think it's taller rather than wider, with multiple floors and a large open top roof that allows players to just run from building to building and get flanks off. Especially if you're on the defending side and you're a good roamer, you could take advantage of this, run from one door on the roof to the other and end up on the other side of the map without actually having to bump into any enemy attackers. New character customization options have been put into the game, such as the inclusion of universal camos, which will be equipped on any gun in the game and range from simple colours such as red and blue to the more intricate designs such as the Skull, Rain and Piranha camos. We also get new headgear for operators such as Fuse and Jaeger, also which you can buy with renown or credits. The UI has received an overhaul. When loading into the round, all the players on your team will have the operator that they picked on display as usual, but if you press X or square, whatever the key is on PC, you'll be able to see exactly what they have in their loadout and what they're using. Even the attachments and gadgets are on show for everyone to see. Also, when you're picking your spawns, the tactical map has been redesigned to show the map in more detail. The previous map wasn't an issue for me, I could see what I was spawning into just fine, but this is a great quality of life change and I'm sure many players will be happy with this change. So that's all I wanted to talk about, guys. So far I'm really enjoying Operation Skull Rain, and Ubisoft have been doing a great job on keeping the game fresh. There's still things that need changing, such as Pulse. Please nerf him, Ubisoft, please, and give Tachanka a buff. If they looked at Reddit, they'd know how much players love him and want him to be buffed. There are seriously tons of threads just on Tachanka. If you have any feedback for improvements, I'll leave a link in the description for you to go to. It's just a link on Reddit where they've asked players to just post improvements specifically on this topic, that is Skull Rain. It's the best place for you to leave feedback because Ubisoft are listening, believe it or not. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more Rainbow Six Siege content. I will catch you in the next one.